This question is about different substances formed from carbon atoms. On each part of a question, I'm going to pause so you can stop the video and then you can have a go yourself and then rejoin the video. So question 1. Draw the electronic structure of a carbon atom using the diagram below. So first of all, we'll look for carbon on the periodic table and we can see it's got an atomic number of 6. That means we need to draw 6 electrons. So we can put 2 electrons on the first shell and then that's full, and that leaves us 4 electrons to go on the second shell. Question 2. Graphene is made of a single layer of carbon atoms. Draw a diagram to show how those carbon atoms are arranged in graphene. So we need to remember here that the carbon atoms are arranged in 6-sided hexagons. So I'm going to draw my first hexagon here. Then I'm going to draw a second one joined onto it. And then I'm going to draw a third one joined onto the other two. Where each of those lines intersects, I'm going to draw a carbon atom. And I'm going to label those carbon atoms. And the sticks in between the carbon atoms represent covalent bonds. Question 3. Compare the properties of graphite and diamond and relate it to their structure and bonding. So we need to have some really good knowledge that we can draw upon here, and with the 6-mark question, if you make a really good go of it, it can make a difference to your overall grade if you get 6 marks compared to 1 or 2. So let's have a look at the key words in this question. Properties are what you can say about a substance, and in a 6-mark question I'd be looking to talk about at least 3 properties. So I'm talking about the melting point, whether it conducts electricity or not, and how hard the substance is. We also need to have some good knowledge about the structure and bonding of graphite and diamond, and structure and bonding is how the atoms are arranged in that substance. So first of all, with graphite, if we look at the carbon atom in the center of the diagram I've quickly drawn, we can see it's covalently bonding to 3 other carbon atoms, which means there's 1 electron per atom not involved in bonding, and we call that a delocalized electron. Compare that to diamond, where all 4 outer electrons of the central carbon atom are actually covalently bonding to 4 other carbon atoms. So we can see in this case there's no delocalized electrons because each carbon atom is making 4 covalent bonds. So now we've remembered that knowledge, we're going to use that knowledge to start answering the question. So we're going to talk about 3 different properties, and for each one we'll compare the properties of diamond and graphite, and then for the second mark we're going to relate it to the structure and bonding. So let's start with melting point. Both diamond and graphite have a high melting point, that will get us 1 mark, and then to relate it to the structure and bonding we're going to say it's because they are both giant structures and the carbon atoms are held in place by strong covalent bonds, and those strong covalent bonds need a lot of energy to break them. So our second property we're going to talk about is the conduction of electricity. So if we compare, first of all, graphite does conduct electricity, but diamond does not conduct electricity. And then we're going to relate it to the structure and bonding. So that's because graphite has those delocalized electrons that can carry the charge through the whole structure. And it's important you say through the whole structure. Whereas diamond doesn't have any delocalized electrons. And remember, that's because all 4 of those outer shell electrons are involved with bonding to 4 other carbon atoms. The last property we're going to talk about is the hardness, and the knowledge that you need to remember is that in graphite the carbon atoms are in layers. Now within each layer the carbon atoms are held together with strong covalent bonds, but between the layers we've got those weak forces. If we compare that to diamond, we've only got those strong covalent bonds holding the atoms together. There's no weak forces anywhere. So let's get on and answer the question using that knowledge. We would say that diamond is very hard because each carbon atom is held in place by 4 strong covalent bonds. Notice we're saying hard rather than strong. That's a different property. And we're also saying that each carbon atom is held in place by 4 strong covalent bonds. We're not saying there's 4 covalent bonds in diamond. That would be a mistake. There's hundreds and thousands of bonds in diamond. but each carbon atom has 4 strong covalent bonds. Compare that to graphite. Graphite is soft because the layers of carbon atoms can slide past each other, and that's because the forces between the layers are weak. So if you found this video useful, please remember to give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can get more videos like this. Thank you for watching.